Dumelang guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Reneilwe, Sehlake, also go by the name Reni. Whichever one you can pronounce is fine by me. I'm more than happy. So I know I've been gone for more than a minute. I do go into explanation about that on my Instagram channel. Please do check my Instagram channel out. It's creativehomeliving_ by Reni, where I do explain everything regarding why I've been gone. And then anyways, moving on, I know this is a different way that I usually record and film and edit my videos. Let me know how you feel about this. If you like it, or if you don't like it, you like the old way that I used to do things, let me know in the comment section. So it's nice to get feedback when you're trying something new. So going into today's video, we're gonna be discussing houseplants, in a sense that I'll be giving plant care tips. I am nowhere near being an expert or anything like that. I'm just a plant mom, and I'll just like to share tips that work for me, from plant mom to other plant parents. If you're interested, stay tuned to this video. So first and foremost, I'd just like to discuss houseplants, as in the term air quote house plant. There is no such thing as house plants. I believe plants are things that grow out there in the nature, in their own way, in their own form. They cater to themselves, they care for themselves depending on what their climate is like and all the kind of stuff. And basically what makes them a house plant is if you can cater to their needs and everything that they need when they're growing on the outside on their own, and you can give them exactly what they need on the inside of your home, then they become houseplants. So let me know down below how you feel about my take and description of houseplants. So anyways, moving on, I'm just gonna give you the first tip that matters most to me. That will be the fact that you need to take time to study your home before you buy any plants. Study your home in terms of lighting. What kind of lighting comes through into your home? And this also matters in what direction your windows are facing. If they're northern, western, eastern, or southerly facing windows, it also determines, not dictates, but it determines what kind of lighting you also get into your home. In a sense that do you get direct sunlight, or do you just get bright light, or no light at all? But however, just because you don't get light, it doesn't necessarily mean that you cannot be a plant parent, because there are such things as grow lights or grow lamps that you can get in case you just want to add plants into your home, but you're afraid that you may not be able to cater to their lighting needs. Ensuring that you don't traumatize your plants. Give your plants time to adjust to the new environment. You just got a new plant from the store or the nursery, and you're bringing it into your new home. It's just like you. When you move to a new place, you need time to adjust, time to study your environment, see if you like the place or not, what you like about it, what you don't like about it. The same thing applies to your plants. They need to know whether they like their new spot, or if they don't like their new spot, and be able to communicate that to you. So don't go straight ahead and repot your plant and traumatize your plant further. Give them time to adjust to the new area that they're in. And another thing that I like to bring to light is the fact that once you have a new plant, and say it's new to your home, but however you already have other plants into your home, maybe you're not a new plant parent and you already own plants, so maybe you just need to know this tip: quarantine your new plants, because you don't know what your new plant has, if it has anything contagious on it like spider mites. So you need to know that it's okay for it to be around other plants, or if you need to keep it away from your other plants, in a sense that give it a month on its own, see if it has anything that you need to take note of, because it's always better to treat a plant individually than to treat all your other plants for the same problem. Know your plants, in a sense that whatever plant that you're planning on getting or you have got, know your plant, study on it. What I like to do is, you can either Google, but my favorite thing is to go on Pinterest and research about whatever plant I'm planning on getting or that I already have in my house. And this is very much important because for the next pointers, it is very important that you know that individual plant, because you cannot treat your plant like all the other plants, because just like we humans, we are different. We have different needs, different wants. We have different love languages and care languages. So plants are all the same to us, I guess, in that sense. So coming into the next point, it'll be watering our plants. When it comes to watering your plants, I know my plants need me to check out the soil. They're not fans of moist soil. They just like to be dry before I water them again. So find that out about your plants. Do you like to be watered often or not watered often? And if you don't know how to tell when to water your plants, you can usually do a finger test where you dip your fingers into the soil at about 2 centimeters into the soil to see what kind of soil you're dealing with, if it's dry, if it's moist, if it's just wet soil, so you can know when to water it. But if you feel that it could be a little bit more complicated than that for you to figure that out, you can just simply buy a soil moisture detector off of Takealot or on any other site. You can also check your nurseries, they might have one of those, which will help you to tell better what kind of soil you're dealing with and whether you should water your plants or you should stay away from watering. Another thing I'd like to bring into light is the fact that watering your plants could differ from season to season. So I do know that usually during the spring and summertime, I do water my plants more often than I do in winter and autumn times, because my plants take differently to watering around those seasons, and the climate is a little bit more humid than the other times or more drier than the other times of the year during different seasons. So as well as my advice on plant care, do take it with a pinch of soil, not pinch of soil well, we are talking about plants, so it could be take it with a pinch of soil. But anyways, because my climate could be different from yours, so I do not want to be very specific on how to water your plants, because it differs from plant to plant, and it differs from climate to climate. So another point that I would bring to light is when you repot your plants. So when it comes to repotting your plants, always go a size or two bigger. Don't go way too big on the size of the pot, because you might stunt your plant's growth. Because as much as I don't know about you guys in African households, as in black families, I know that there's been times where my mom would buy like 2 or 3 sizes bigger than what your actual size is, in hopes that you'll grow into that item or grow into those shoes. So with plants, only go a size or two bigger. Don't go bigger than that in hopes that it will grow into that. You might end up stunting your plant's growth. But besides that, when it comes to potting your plants, you should also know about the kind of soil that your plant likes to be in. Soils differ. I'm not an expert when it comes to the kind of soil that you should get for your plants. I do actually get advice from the people at the nursery when it comes to that. Some plants need soil that can retain water, and some plants need soil that can get rid of water, that doesn't hold on to water. So hence why soil is different. Don't just take any kind of soil. And when it comes to this houseplant conversation, it is important that when you're repotting your plants, you do get house soil, as in your house plant potting soil, because soil reacts differently from when it's inside the house and from when it's outside the house. So be specific when you go to the nursery that you are looking for soil to repot plants that are indoor plants and not outdoor plants. That way they can get you the right kind of soil. So that is also important. And do specify what kind of plant you're dealing with, so they know what kind of soil to get you. Communicating with your plants. I know you might seem like a psycho and a crazy person talking to your plants, but I think it's kind of good for your plants. I like to talk to my plants, especially when they are, putting out a new leaf or something like that. I like to talk to my plants because I get to exhale carbon dioxide, and they like that because that's what they take in during the day, and they bring out oxygen, obviously. So that is another reason that I like to talk to my plants. But plants also actually communicate back to us. So if you pay close attention to the leaves of your plant, if they're yellow, if they're brown around the edges, if they start to wilt or anything like that, plants do communicate. They can tell you when they're being underwatered, they can tell you when they're being overwatered, they can tell you when they are running out of nutrition in the soil. So pay close attention to your plants. They do communicate with you, and they also wilt as well to tell you when they're being underwatered. So that kind of communication does also differ from plant to plant, hence why it is important to know about your plants. So now that I've touched a little bit about the nutritional side of plants, we're going to get into the feeding and fertilizing of your plants. It's always important that when it comes to repotting and fertilizing your plants, try and do that during spring and summer seasons, because that's when your plants are more active. But during your winter and autumn season, refrain from repotting or fertilizing your plants, because that's when it's their resting periods. Usually the potting soil that you getting from your nursery or wherever has fertilizer and needs you to refrain from fertilizing your plants for a certain period of time. So meaning that if you actually repot your plants during your winter or autumn season, you'll be actually giving your plants nutrients and telling your plants to be more active when they really should be resting. And sometimes plants don't like that and can get temperamental because they are just straight up exhausted and tired of you. I would be too if you wanted me to grow 365 days in a year. Another point that's about to slip up, and I'm trying to make sure that it doesn't slip up, is the reason why you need to fertilize or feed your plants. That is because your house plants, they're in a pot the entire time, and when you keep on watering them, they keep on taking nutrients from the soil. And obviously when you keep on reusing that soil, nutrients do run out and they stop getting nutrients from the soil. So you're basically replacing those nutrients and putting them back into the soil so that your plants can continue to get those nutrients from the soil. So another point will be rotate your plants, guys. So plants, obviously depending on what they need, if they need direct light or bright light, they love light in general. So usually you need to rotate them, because once your plant gets light in a certain direction, it tends to lean into that direction. So to avoid your entire plant continuously growing into an angle and you want it to grow straight up, just rotate your plant so that all sides of your plant get equal and even amount of sunlight, instead of just one side and the other side trying to reach for the light, hence why it'll start leaning towards one side. So when it comes to the next point, it will be about the kind of pot to get your plants. So what you want to get is a nice draining pot at the bottom, because when you water your plants, you want it to drain. This is a point that I probably missed out in my watering tip. That will be when you water your plants, water them thoroughly. And how you can tell that your plant is watered thoroughly, that will be because all holes will draining holes at the bottom of your pot plant, they will release water. That's how you can tell that your plant is thoroughly watered. If not, you will see just water coming out of the one draining hole or just two draining holes. But now I know that we love these beautiful pot plants, and sometimes the ones with the draining holes are just necessarily not that aesthetically pleasing, and we do love that beautiful aesthetic for our plants. And honestly, Mr. Price Home has beautiful pot plants. I do love them. Although not all of them have draining holes at the bottom, you can still utilize them, but the only thing is just remember to add some stones inside your pot plant, so that when you put your pot plant that does have draining holes into that aesthetically pleasing pot plant, it actually drains into that pot plant onto the stones and doesn't stay inside the water. This is very much important for plants that do not love staying in water or don't like staying in moist soil, and they're prone to getting root rot from all of that. So ensure that you get that beautiful pot plant, but you get some stones for it, fill it up with some stones, and then place the pot plant on top of the stones or the rocks. Coming up to the last point that I do have for you guys, that will be something that I've watched tons of plant videos and nobody really touches on this, or nobody actually talks about this, and that will be the fact that refrain from putting plants in your bedrooms. I do that. I refrain from putting plants in my bedroom. That is because plants give out oxygen throughout the day, but guess what? During the evening, they give out carbon dioxide and take in oxygen. So the last thing you want is to have so many plants in your bedroom or where you sleep and have to actually share the oxygen with your plants, and they give out carbon dioxide. During your sleep period, that's when you should be rejuvenated and you should be breathing in purified air. So you don't need to have all that hustle with plants in your bedroom and you're all just fighting for that oxygen. I've never heard anyone saying that they've died from oxygen deprivation because of plants in their bedroom, but I just like for you guys to actually bear that in mind when you're putting plants in your bedroom. And I honestly wouldn't put any plants in my bedroom. And I do know that in my bedroom makeover, you saw me put one of my plants in my bedroom, and guess what? That is a different kind of plant. That is a sansevieria plant. So that plant gives out oxygen throughout the evening as well. So it's also known as a plant that purifies the air, and it's good for you to have it in your bedrooms, and they do condone having it in your bedrooms. And that is a great point that I'd like to end off with, and like for you guys to bear in mind when you're putting plants in your room, that ensure that the plant that you put in your room is an air purifying plant and is a kind of plant that will condone you getting the perfect and great amount of sleep throughout the evening. So that's all I have this week regarding plant tips. Comment down below if you have any kind of question. If I can answer them, I will. If I can't answer them, I'll give you direct links to the kind of people that I usually like listening to when it comes to plant advice and all that kind of stuff. If you do like this kind of video setup, please comment down below and give this video a thumbs up. If you'd like to make any adjustments regarding this, or you just simply like the old way that I do things, comment down below. Let me know. Your feedback will be very much appreciated. And if you stay tuned towards this end of this video, do you love the support that I'm getting? I do love the engagement levels as well. And I do hope that you guys enjoy your week further, and I do hope that I get to come back here as soon as possible, in spite of everything that's going on in my personal life. So with that being said, be kind, love and light. Mwah. Bye.